to another exciting episode of For Art's Sake. I have the pleasure tonight to have a great colleague, musician, a sax player, Ron Smith. He comes from Massachusetts, and we will have the pleasure of interviewing him tonight, and he'll tell us all about his musical journey. Thank you, Ron, for being here.
You know, glad to be here. Thanks
Yes.
for inviting me.
Well, I feel like, we've collaborated so many times, and I feel like tonight is about catching up. I think we haven't seen each other in 3 years now.
Yes.
It has been, yes.
But you came to see me perform at the Worst House, you and David.
Oh, yes, I did. And
Right.
that was like a year ago?
Yes,
Or so?
it was years ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
So, Ron, it's so nice to have you here. Thank you for saying yes.
Yes.
And I want to have the opportunity to show everyone how amazing you are and share your journey in music. So you are originally from Memphis, Tennessee,
Yes.
and you've been here with us in the U.S. in Massachusetts for how long?
Since 1988, so it's over 30-some years.
Yes,
Now,
that's a long time.
yes, yes.
And what brought you to Massachusetts?
After I finished my undergraduate studies at Tennessee State in Nashville, I won a scholarship, the Fieldwood Scholarship that Berkeley offered, and I came to Berkeley College of Music in 1988 to study music production and engineering.
Nice.
Not necessarily performance. And from that, I learned to build a network of musicians through Berkeley and sort of got invested in sort of how to support myself as a musician by using the educational degree I received at Tennessee State. And so I started for a steady employment. I started being a substitute teacher in the Boston school program. I was a music specialist, and so I attained that job from the Boston Symphony Orchestra, educator program that they had, and they sent me around to show kids how to play instruments, different instruments, and then they would have me go to Tanglewood over in the summer and spend the entire summer in their youth program as a specialist, just
Okay.
sharing my music experience and my background and showing them how to play jazz, how to concert music, and how to play instruments. And it sort of spin off from there. And then when I left there, I went to New Hampshire and started teaching at this private school called Kimball Union Academy,
Okay.
where I created a music program for them. They didn't have no band program. They just had a choir,
So
and
you
it
did it
was
from
like an
scratch.
a cappella, yes.
Okay.
The headmaster at the time, that's what they were called, he said, I want a music program. How can you do it? How would you create a music program? And I gave him, this is how I would do it. I can guarantee you this. I just need students, I need the instruments, and you'll have a program.
Sure.
I guarantee you, because I know how to create a band.
Wow. Did you always knew
Right.
that you wanted to be an educator? Was that your first choice from the very beginning, or just life took you there?
I resisted.
You resisted.
I resisted. I was like, there's no way I will ever teach in a school.
Okay.
That's how it began.
Okay.
But I'm a person of faith, and I believe that everything happens for a reason and has a purpose in life. And so I was just like, why am I going this? Because I had to, I'm gonna be the most famous saxophonist in the world, and I'm gonna be the best in the world, and I'm gonna play music, and I'm gonna, record, and I'm gonna be, famous. I had that sort of, dream and stuff like that. But I listened to who I needed to listen to become better and better.
Sure.
So if I wanted to improve, I went and, sought the person out and did what I was told to do to become a better musician, to achieve what I wanted to achieve. All right, and so I just took that spin off. And so when I got the job at Kimball Union Academy, I said, okay, I'm going to try to see how to learn how to be an educator, how to be a teacher.
Okay. So you
All right.
felt at that point
Right.
that you needed to
And
learn.
that was the agreement between the person who hired me. I was like, if you hire me, you have to give me 5 years. And I told him why. I said, you have to give me 5 years because I have to transition 4 years first. All right, and learn an education system for 4 years, because that's what it takes for a ninth grader to graduate. And I must see that growth and that development and that maturity in that student. All right, and so if I have to improve my skills in their maturity level, then in their learning, then I'm developing too as a person and as an educator. But I have to see that.
Okay.
Right, and I wind up staying 8 years, and while I was there, I got some training at Dartmouth College under this professor named Hafiz Shabazz, and he was a musicologist, a world musicologist, and he sort of hired me as a jazz resident saxophone player, and he played all the African drums and Latin drums and all that. And so I took that concept, and I developed the educational program at Kimball Union Academy, the Mimic Hills, and I brought that thing. So when I left there and went to Northfield Mount Hermon at the school that I did, I brought all of that with me.
Okay, so that's the
Right.
school that you're in right
Yeah,
now, that you're an
yeah.
educator. And you, apart from an educator, you also direct the jazz band?
Yes, Northfield Mount Hermon hired me to be the jazz band director
Okay.
because, they had a much more eclectic or better programming of music directors. They had a concert band director, they had a string director, they had a choir director,
Okay.
and they had pianist accompanists, and they had private instructors. But they did the jazz band director was leaving. He was, he gave a notice, and so they put out their search for musicians, jazz band teachers.
Okay.
And I attended a college fair in Boston at Brown University, and they were set up at a table. And I approached them, and they said, "What did I do?" I told them what I did, and they said, "Okay, can you teach jazz?" I said, "Of course I can." Of course. And so
So that came
from
about.
that conversation,
Okay.
I had my interview. I walked in the door, and before I left, they had offered me the job.
Nice. And you've
Right.
been there for how long now?
23 years.
23
Yes.
years.
Right.
So,
And so right now, I am the elder. But I'm historically, I'm the oldest. I'm the sort of, what's the word? The faculty of color
okay.
statesman, because I've been there the longest
Okay.
of any faculty of color that has worked at this school.
Interesting.
Right.
So, how does a sax player gets to direct a whole band? How challenging is that? Is it challenging?
Well, it's if you are a front person in any band, you are the music director. So you already are directing the band.
Okay.
All right, if you lead a group. And so I played in a number of groups where I was the leader of the band. When I was in Berkeley and in Tennessee State, stuff like that, I had my own groups. All right, so I selected the material. You know, I taught them how, taught, what the songs are. You know, we arranged them the way we wanted to play them. All right, and so when you go into a school, it's the historical information you have to provide, but on how to play the instrument, and then you give them the skills and the elements of the songs that you want to try to play. All right, and so if they want to play Latin music, they have to learn how to play the Latin rhythms first.
That's,
See what I'm saying? If you want to play jazz, you have to learn how to play swing rhythms. You have to learn how to play swing, play and get time, different time patterns.
Sure.
And the forms.
Yes.
All right, you have to teach the basics first before you can begin to perform them.
Sure.
Right.
And
so,
I had the privilege of seeing your jazz band, and it was very interesting and impactful to me,
Right.
because not only there was diversity within the students, but there was also, you play a few of Latin songs, and it was very interesting to see them, how they adapted so well and they played it so well,
right.
and I was impressed, I have to say.
Right. Well, the musicians I have at NMH, they already have been trained how to read music thoroughly, especially the Asian population. Especially my students from China and Japan, and most of the Korean, they come in knowing, because they're disciplined sort of culture.
Okay.
And stuff like that. You have to play an instrument at a certain age, and you don't necessarily got to major in it, or let that be your way of life, but you have to have that culture in you.
Sure.
Of playing an instrument. And so they learn the basic things first. All right, and one of the most basic form of teaching is learning how to play the piano. All right, and so they learn that to a certain level, to a certain intermediate level, that they can, transition that to any instrument or any sort of culture. You just got to find a way to connect it.
Sure. And whatever they decide to do in life, if they become professional musicians, or they go into the education area of music, or whatever they do, reality is that music is one of those things that unite people. We've talked about it so much here in the program, because we've had different, musicians that play different instruments, have different cultural backgrounds, and me coming, knowing the music industry, but also working, corporate America, I have to say that music is one of those things that has that ability to make a connection, among different people with different backgrounds. And it just creates that sensitivity. When you're exposed to different genres, different cultures, you build sensitivity. And I think that's wonderful for everything. Not only music, but, everything in life. So it's very interesting. And in your experience, from all the students that you've worked with, do they, for the most part, do a career in music, or they venture into other industries or other career paths?
Yes and no. And I'm going to say yes to I have not a year gone by that I have not had one student pursue music in some capacity, where they may not go to college for it, but they may go and get in their community band, or they may go, back to church and perform in church, or they may go establish a group because they liked it so much, and just have it among themselves and play at home. You know what I'm saying? Be a conventional. I play for myself. I play at home with my group of friends. We play in the backyard. We play at home in the basement. Like that, but they continue on.
Yes.
And I do have the high level ones that go to a music school, to a music college, and go on, and they become a recording artist, and win Grammy Awards.
Yes.
Because it's just like, and then you see that, you see that work on it, and you say, oh my God, Samira Joy just won. She was in my Jazz in July combo when Billy Taylor
Okay.
was still alive, and he was the emeritus of that program. She was, her and Jerry Allen, she was the vocalist in that combo. And it's like, and then my son got to work with her when he was able to, stuff like that. And then you're seeing them winning Grammy Awards.
Yes,
It's like,
yes. You feel good, don't you?
Right,
For them
right,
and for yourself
right,
also,
right,
the contribution that you had in that journey.
right.
So let's talk about your projects, your playing. As I said at the beginning, we've had multiple instances of collaboration, and I'm always, not because you're here sitting down, but I'm always very impressed with your playing. I think you're very passionate, and all of that love for music comes through the sound of your sax, which is one of the instruments that I love the most. So tell me, what are you doing right now in your projects? Because I know you're playing with a few people.
What I'm doing now, number one, I'm playing for me.
Okay.
I am just really just playing for me.
What does it mean?
It means that it's not about being on the stage or being with, playing with the most famous people or knowing the most famous people. I have kind of gone that journey already, and providing opportunities for musicians to have the experience of playing that is more engaging me than me being up on the stage right now. And so that sort of helping people to develop the network of playing. I am really dedicated to keeping up my skills as a saxophonist, as a musicologist, and learning different cultures, things like that. With my saxophone playing, it's just like, now I'm starting to, okay, maybe I'll start trying to write music. Because I don't do that.
Okay.
I don't write music.
You don't?
I'm an unrecorded artist.
Okay. I was
Right.
going to ask you.
I'm an unrecorded artist. And so it's like, reteaching myself to make myself be the better me now.
Sure.
All right? Because it's a wonderful opportunity to go out and perform for people and stuff like that, but it's not my all in all. I can not.
I understand you. I think music, I think I know where you're going with this,
Right.
and I hope we can agree that,
Right.
Music is healing.
Yes.
And so it depends on, as you said, how do you perform? Again, you have an audience that wants to
Right.
hear you, and you have
Right.
all the intent to
Right.
share your passion and but you're healing, and you're healing
Right.
yourself, and you're healing others, and you can use
Right.
music is a very powerful tool.
Right.
And, so you're tapping on something very interesting that I've been,
Yes.
reading about lately. Interesting.
Right. I would much rather, and I'm finding myself doing this, I'm going to senior citizen homes and retirement homes and playing and talking about, that's much more gratifying.
Oh, yes.
I'm thinking, I'm not competing. I'm enjoying the music as it is and how it's touching people. So that's more of a ministry, or how I'm connecting with these people around in my culture, because I'm displaced
And
in this New England place. So that's how I'm just creating the sort of cultivation
Sure.
of how music is, like, therapeutic and how it is healing.
Oh, yes.
And how, we sort of living together amongst, under the same stars and earth and ground and stuff like that. And just how I can share that passion that I have inside of me and
Yes.
that talent.
Yes. And yeah,
Right.
your voice,
Right.
your story also, which, can be healing
Yes.
for others. It's very interesting, and I know what you mean. I had the opportunity to sing for hospice,
Uh-huh.
and when I first started, again, it was something that I didn't know anything about, and I didn't know. So going into that experience was something that just opened my eyes to, I think it gave me the reason why I had been a singer, because I was never interested in becoming like an artist. I sing, and I like to enjoy that, that exchange from the audience.
Yes.
But in singing for hospice, I found a purpose. There was a
Right.
purpose there, is above and beyond, something that you can really, you cannot really explain. What does it feel? Is energy. So you can't put a specific description to it. It's just a feeling.
Yes.
And you feel, that it's coming and going between those two people that are there, yourself and,
Yeah.
the person that is passing. So it's really interesting. And that takes us to that conversation that we
Yeah.
were having prior to the show
Right.
about community. Like you said, how important it is to bring, especially jazz,
Yes.
to our communities and get children educated from a young age. So can you talk more about, what are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts?
With regards to music and the
about-
community.
You have to simulate what age you are trying to target first. What age are you trying to target first? Because if you're trying to target the popular age that that everyone really wants and needs, especially for the businesses, you will work harder, trying to initiate that line of communication and understanding with people, than not enjoy the art the way you want to enjoy it. All right? And so it's no longer a enjoyable art form if I have to go and play in a place and do 3 sets, and I'm getting off the stage at 2 o'clock in the morning at my age, and I have to drive an hour, almost 30 minutes home. And I get there, and I flop on the bed, and then I had to get up at the crack of dawn, or as they state, and go and try to be productive all over again. So it's just like, I can only do this for so long.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
and
Yes.
so what age are you trying to assimilate? So if I'm trying to do it from an educational standpoint, I know that's a daytime. That's assimilation in the daytime, and so that's where I can be most productive.
Sure.
If I want to be a jazz musician. So I can be a jazz musician in that field. In the daytime, where I'm most aware and awake in a lot of people,
Exactly.
more faces. All right, than the nighttime
That's true.
population.
One of the purposes for Art's Sake, and the reason why we started this platform, is not only to highlight the talent of musicians, but also to create some sort of awareness and alertness to how music does impact the community, and how music is so important among us, and what are the contributions that it provides that helps in the sense of, community bonding and healing and all those great things that can make a community thrive. So, I appreciate you being here. You bring a lot of valuable information. I love the fact that, you're not only a great educator, but you're also a great artist, and you've been able to balance both in a very, magical way, which
Right.
not always happens. So I appreciate, you being here. Thank you so much. And I would love, before we finish the
Yeah.
show, if we could, just venture in a song that we could do
Of
together,
course.
just
All
to,
right.
I want to hear your
I'm-
sax before you leave. That's for sure.
Okay. But you have to bless us with that voice
I'll
of yours.
I'll try.
Because that's what stimulates it. That's what
Okay.
stimulates it.
Okay,
Uh,
okay,
we,
we'll
we
do that.
connect that way, and it works out.
Okay,
right.
we'll do that.
All right.
Okay. This may come as some surprise, but I miss you. I can see through all of your lies, but I still miss you. He takes a love, but it doesn't feel like mine. He takes a kiss. Her kisses are not mine, they are not mine. He takes, but surely she can give what I'm feeling now. He takes, but surely doesn't know how. Is it a crime? Is it a crime that he wants you like I want him to? My love is wider than Victoria Lake, taller than Victoria Lake. My love is taller than the Empire State. He dives, he jumps, and it ripples down the deepest ocean. I can give you more than that. Surely he wants me back. Is it a crime? Is it a crime that I still want you, and I want you to want me too? We want to thank you very much for watching our show for Art's Sake. Thank you very much for supporting our venture. So we hope to see you soon in some other great, amazing interviews. Thank you so much.